Okay, so earlier in the week, I ran into an old friend of mine, and he was asking me what I'm up to, and I told him, well, I'm trading crypto and getting this YouTube channel going, trying to get monetized, and he basically, asked me how it was going, and I told him, oh, I just pretty much just kind of started, and he gave me some unsolicited advice and told me, it's all about hard work. You just got to put in, you just got to work hard at it, and that's all it takes. And I'm like, thanked him for his advice, and went on my way. And I really hate that advice. I've been told that all my life. Now, the younger me used to believe that everything in life is about hard work, because that's the myth that we've been told since we were kids. That if you just work hard, you'll succeed in anything you do. It's all about your work method. Your input. You got to put in the time. And that is the biggest piece of fucking shit that we've been told all our lives. If you really want to know, if you ask me, the secret to success, it's not hard work. It's, I hate to say it because I don't really like telling people the real secret, but I'm gonna let, I guess, my viewers know. And you might not like it, but it works, and it's basically breaking the rules. Cheat, lie, steal. If you do that, you will succeed in anything, and I mean anything. Like, I'll give you some examples. If you want to get in shape, be physically fit, you could go to the gym, put in the time, put in the effort, or you could just go to liposuction, get on gear, steroids, testosterone, whatever. Get a personal trainer, and you also go to the gym a little bit, and not work as hard as someone who just goes straight to the gym, doesn't do liposuction and cosmetic surgery, doesn't get on gear. They just go straight to the gym. You could get more done by doing conventional things, and I would say kind of sketchy, or frowned upon. And this is why we see athletes or celebrities who are ripped, and they all lie, or most of them lie, say that they're natty, they're not on gear, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. That they will lie, and then eventually they come out that yes, they were on gear. Even right now we have The Rock saying that he's a natural, and they don't. There's like, oh, it's just hard work, just hit that gym, It's like, yeah. You're cheating, and because that's what it takes to succeed. Let's say in finance, if you want to get rich, look at if you want to be a day trader, you could, study the market, look at charts and everything, or you could just have insider trading and almost be guaranteed to have great profits. Like you see Nancy Pelosi or people in Congress. Look at how profitable their gains are versus, I don't know, like the best of the best. They outperform the market just because, again, the insider trading. It's illegal when we do it, but when they do it, it's okay because, I don't know, because they're politicians, but they're cheating. This is why some investors just follow whatever they're doing. Whatever their stock they're buying, they just buy the same stock. Let me see. Lying on resumes. You're more likely to get a job if you lie on a resume, whether you versus if you just tell the truth. If you lie, you got a chance to at least make it to the interview. You know, you might get caught, you might not, but at least you got to the door. You know, versus if you tell the truth and you never make it to the door, or even in a relationship. This is why you see people lie. People who always getting laid or hooking up with people, they're masters at manipulations. They're masters at lying. They, hey baby, oh man, I love you. You're sexy. You're the only one I love. Ain't no other girl. It's just you, girl. Masters at lying, and after they get what they want to get, boom, next chick. Just keep doing that. Lying, stealing, cheating, breaking the rules. That'll get you what you want way faster than hard work. I'm gonna react to this clip. It says why you're not successful, and it says it's hard work a myth. I haven't seen it, but I want to see if they agree or disagree with me. But that's been my thing. When people ask me about YouTube, I plan on cheating. I plan. Right now, I'm doing it for the most part legit, trying to get real views, real subscribers. But after if I don't get monetized by a certain timeline that I made for myself, then I'll go the other route. Because that's pretty much what the successful people have done. It's they pay for subscribers, they pay for marketing companies, either marketing companies that will do all the work and give them actual subs, or they paid to be on the top of they pay YouTube to make sure that their page comes out on top, or they just pay somebody in India and buy 1,000 subs, even though those subs aren't really any good. But it helps. It helps you in the beginning, because after you get a certain amount of subs, then you could actually get real subs, because people like to subscribe to channels that have already have a large following. It's like that's human nature. If you see a lot of people outside a restaurant and another restaurant, you don't see any people, you're gonna go to the one where it has a lot of people, because you're thinking, well, they must know something, it must be good. So that's the same thing with YouTube. If you have a lot of if you see a channel with a lot of subscribers, you just think, oh, that channel must be really good. You don't know if they bought them all or what. So yeah, lying, cheating, and stealing, that'll get you wherever you want in life. And it sucks, because all our lives we've been told to be good people, to not break the rules. But if you actually think about it, all the people at the top, they broke the rules to get there, And this is something historically. If you just go back, look at kings and royalty. But what did they do? They used to steal land. Countries used to steal land from other people's. Steal goods. Take whatever they want. If you want to become a millionaire, the fastest way to become a millionaire is just take somebody else's money. I'm living right now in Texas. I don't know how many times this place has been stolen. It was stolen from the Native Americans, then from the Europeans, and then from I don't know who. It just constantly being fought back and forth. And again, but it works. Taking people's stuff, and you get if you get away with it, the risk reward is there. This is why athletes aren't afraid of taking gear, because the risk reward it's there. Let's say you're trying to go into the NFL or MLB, and you're in college. It kind of pays to be on gear, because yes, you could get caught, and not get picked. But the risk reward is, maybe if I don't get caught, the payday is through the roof, and even after, I'll still have money from ad revenue, and I'll have a following, and no matter what, the 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 risk isn't really that bad, because if I don't do all this extra stuff, I don't make it, and I'm just, I'm a nobody. You see people like Lance Armstrong, the cyclist. He got caught doping, but was the penalty really that bad? For anybody who got caught doping, was the penalty really that bad? They still lived a great life, and if they never doped, they probably would have never had that great life. That's what I'm saying. Lie, cheat, steal. It's morally, it's not good, but does it work? Can you argue? If you disagree with me, argue this point. Does it work? Not only does it work better than working hard? That's what my argument is. If you want to succeed, be a freaking shitty person. It'll work. And again, this is why you see all these billionaires on top. They didn't get there from being good people. They got there from screwing people over.
And their new movie, The Gray Man, which is out July 22nd. Does hard work matter? You've probably been told that if you just grind it out and put in the hours, no matter what your field, you can be successful. I mean, the 10,000 hour rule to become an expert at something has been touted for years. And many are convinced that dedicating yourself fully will yield results. But what if I told you that was all wrong? This idea was inspired by Sierra 6 from The Gray Man, the most skilled CIA operative in the world. So it got me wondering, how does somebody become the best at what they do, like being a top CIA agent? Is skill earned through hard work or natural talent? Or is there another factor at play? Let's start by looking at athletic ability. In sports research studies, scientists have taken groups of people and subjected them all to the exact same training regime to see what their results would look like. Now, even though they all did the exact same work, everybody saw different levels of improvement. But interestingly, individuals who were related by blood saw similar improvement, indicating that their genetics were playing a role in their athletic potential. If your parents or siblings saw amazing results, so would you. And these people were deemed high responders. After doing more statistical analysis, it's been estimated that around 50% of athletic improvement is linked to genetics. So good athletes are born with good trainable genes. But these studies also found that individuals had different baseline abilities too. Without any training, some people were just more fit than others. And this was found to be linked to genetics as well. In the case of cardio, these genes may have coded for larger volumes of blood, giving an early advantage. If we look at muscle growth, we know that the size of your muscles is under pretty strict control of a protein called myostatin. As your muscle reaches its limit, myostatin prevents any further growth. But the thing is, some people naturally have lower myostatin levels, allowing them to achieve greater muscle growth. Belgian blue cattle actually have a deletion of the gene GDF8, which just so happens to create myostatin, and as a result, without any special diet or exercise, they have incredible muscle mass. They're absolutely jacked. Again, this highlights the hugely important role of genetics and how you can start with a high trainability for a skill, a high baseline, or both, or none in my case. Now, chances are that our best athletes have both a high baseline and a high trainability, on top of pushing themselves really hard to reach those potential limits. But there are probably just as many, if not more people, putting in the same amount of hard work that will never see the same extraordinary results. Now, don't get me wrong, they can still improve and even become great, but their chance at being the best, much lower. But your potential for greatness goes far beyond just your body. Your circumstance can matter just as much. Take a look at these SAT scores for an average US college, which are out of 800, by the way. Those that have the highest SAT scores end up representing over 50% of the people who get degrees at these schools, while the lowest SAT scores only represent around 18% of people who actually graduate. Not so surprising. But now let's look at a top school like Harvard. Here, the students with the lowest SAT scores are still smarter than the best students at an average school. And yet, when we look at their rate of completion, it looks awfully similar. The top students represent just over 50% of people who graduate, while the lower SAT scores represent around 15% of people who actually graduate. This phenomenon is known as the big fish, little pond effect. Simply put, we compare ourselves not globally, but to our neighbors or people who are in the same boat as we are. As a result, students at top schools compare themselves to their brilliant peers, and if you're in the bottom half of your class, you're likely to have feelings of inadequacy, even though compared to the rest of the world, you are one of the most talented. We can even see this effect translated into real-world success or failure. A study looking at publications produced by economists in their first 6 years after graduation showed that the top students in the 99th percentile, i.e. smarter than almost every other person at the school from the top 5 schools in America, were producing an impressive amount of publications. But those in the 75th percentile, still the top quarter of the best students, are publishing next to nothing, essentially failures in their field. But if we now look at the best students from the 30 worst schools, we see that they're publishing more than those in the top quarter of the best schools in the country. Clearly, your surroundings and peers matter. So even when you put in the hard work, your circumstance and environment can dictate just how valuable all those hours are. Which brings us to the concept of time. Do super talented people put in more hours of practice or work? Nope. Well, at least not in the way you probably think. In particular, their developmental paths may seem surprising to you. If we look at this graph...
Alright, so this video is not what I thought it was going to be from what what the damn description was. But, I mean, I agree with everything here. But I thought this would say something like hard work versus other things, but this basically hard work versus genetics. And again, I agree with this. You know, genetics matters a lot in life. Also with financial circumstances. You know, if you're born to money, the likelihood of you succeeding already it's freaking through the roof compared to somebody who's born into poverty.
Of practice time in athletes from childhood, you can see that elite athletes typically devote less time early on to deliberate practice in the activity that they will eventually become experts in. And this pattern holds true for most fields outside of sports too. How does this make sense at all? It turns out that people at the top of their game, whether that's an athlete, a musician, or even a scientist, are more likely to go through something called a sampling period when they're younger. Instead of being told to pick one topic and specializing in it, they often try a breadth of activities, whether that be multiple sports, instruments, or fields of science. It's only later on in life that they see a narrowing focus, increased structure, and an explosion of practice in one area. It's believed that this not only gives them a range of physical and mental proficiencies from the different fields that they can draw on, but it also allows them to explore and learn what their own abilities are and figure out what they like by trying different things. Studies on musicians show that sheer amount of practice is not a good indicator of exceptionality. In fact, the best students often come from less musically active families and are less likely to have an instrument at home. Those deemed as exceptional most often turn out to be the ones who distributed their efforts and explorations more evenly across multiple instruments and only later in life focused on one. Even if we look at Nobel Prize winners, they're actually 22 times more likely to partake as an amateur actor, dancer, magician, or other type of performer. I would pay like a lot of money to see a Nobel laureate perform magic. Even nationally recognized scientists are much more likely to be musicians, painters, woodworkers, mechanics, or writers, etc. Having lots of experience to draw on from other fields, even if some of those fields are just for leisure, and not only specializing and zoning in on one thing, seems to provide a huge benefit. At the end of the day, what does this say about hard work? Well, it's certainly not the main factor to extreme success, though of course it plays a role in every expert's path. But where and when that hard work comes into play is clearly not set in stone. And it's definitely not a direct correlation in skill acquisition research, except in really simple tasks that never change. This means, honestly, it's never too late to find something that you love and have a natural ability for and put a bunch of effort into that. Of course, if you already are really good at something, it may also help having a little humility knowing chances are you had a bit of luck with your genetics, ethics, your circumstance, and your exposure to many different things. Now, this video idea was inspired by Netflix's new movie, The Gray Man, which comes out on July 22nd on Netflix, and it follows the most skilled CIA operative agent as he becomes the target of a global manhunt. It's an amazing film with some of the coolest, most action-packed scenes, strong
It was okay. I saw it.
and Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, and this track jacket, which Netflix so nicely sent me to celebrate the launch of The Gray Man. Be sure to check out this absolute blockbuster of a film, and now you know whether their incredible skills in the movie were earned through pure hard work or were the result of a variety of different factors.
Nah, it's because they were on gear. You know those A-list celebrities are on gear, and oh man, what the hell does that mean? Yeah, so this thing is just like I said, it wasn't the video that I thought it was gonna be. But this is my advice. If you want to be successful in life, learn to. You basically can't be moral. You gotta be amoral or malevolent, and learn to lie, cheat, steal, and you'll get to the top real quick. You know, look at what people used to do back in the day. They used to, like I said, steal people's land and have slaves. And you think people worked hard, you know, to get their wealth? They just took it, you know. So this is, I don't know. I keep this in mind when I want to do something. It's I never. I'm always looking for the something that will guarantee success, you know, and hard work won't. Like, there's so many people like on YouTube that have pumped out videos and never made it. I think it's less than 10% of people who tried YouTube get monetized, and then of those people who get monetized, most of them can make it to as an actual job. So it's a really smart percentage, you know. And everybody puts in, well, not everybody, but a lot of them put in hard work and failed. So it's not about hard work. It's about, I don't know, cheating the system, breaking the rules. One thing with the rules, I don't know if I mentioned it because I'm just talking nonstop. Rules were made by the ruling class, you know, and usually the ruling class doesn't follow the rules. They set the rules for the common people, but they don't follow the rules. And there's always like almost two justice systems, or like double standards. Rules for thee, but not for me. And you'll see this like with Congress having insider trading information, or I don't know, them doing shady deals that would be illegal for the common man. So just something to keep in mind, that even if you don't agree with it and you still want to be a good person and follow the rules, at least know that everyone else, at least people at the top, are not following the rules, or maybe even your competitor in whatever you're doing in life, that they might not be a good person like yourself. So just something to keep in mind.